Looks like it's happening. Looks like Thiago Motta listened to the supporters. Looks like Thiago Motta he acknowledged a problem that at the moment has a name. Turn Koopmeiners, because if you're looking at the predicted lineups, Turn will sit on the bench for Juventus Benfica, the last of the 8 games of that group stage, that really strange group stage of Champions League. This evening, after triple whistle, we will know what position we'll have that in that ranking, and probably already know one or the other against who we can play in that playoff. If a miracle happens, you can maybe even enter the top 8, but I don't believe in it that much at the moment as we speak. Ragazzi, a lot of things to say about the pre-game Juventus-Benfica. Of course, Cambiaso as well. And then why it's important also to support the other Italian teams today. Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. I hope you are all doing well. I told you bomba, because if we were watching the predicted lineups from the afternoon, launched by Pedula and other journalists, it was absolutely not the one that we are seeing today, that we are seeing now. The one predicted by Giovanni Albanese, that we know it, 9.9 on 10 is always right, anticipating the correct lineups. Well, we see Perin into the goal, Savona on the right side, Gatti Kalulu and Weston McKennie there on the left, Douglas Luiz, Kefren Thuram, Yildiz as the number 10, the big newness of today, Conceição on the right, Bangula on the left, and then on top, Dusan Vlahovic. 11 players that we can say, if we make abstraction of everything, it's a beautiful lineup, especially offensively, because we see that these 3 players there, Bangula, Conceição, and Yildiz, are extremely technical, extremely skillful. 3 players that can create superiority thanks to a dribble, thanks to their unpredictability, thanks to maybe the shot with the left or with the right foot from the distance from Yildiz. Also giving support from Dusan Vlahovic, that should be back after 3 games on the bench. I like offensively that unpredictability, but also that youth, because we are looking at 21, and 19 years old players. So we are speaking about young players that probably none of us were thinking that they would be the starters at that Juventus if you are looking at 5, 4, 3 years ago. They are there. It's beautiful to see, but of course they need to answer what we are requesting, means a victory. Then of course, watching Douglas Luiz in a starting lineup in a big game is important to understand really what are the skills of that player, what is the potential of that player in black and white. So Douglas Luiz more than welcome here. Then in defense, the choices are obliged. Then we can also say, if we are a bit controversial, Thiago Motta and Juventus, they don't really think that this game is the most important of the next 3-1, including this one, because if we are looking at Juventus Benfica, Juventus Empoli, Como Juventus, the 3 next game, well, probably you want 6 points in Serie A, and today winning, drawing or losing doesn't guarantee you anything, because that top 4 is already a guarantee, whatever the result. Maybe you will win and you will play against an opponent that will bring you bad luck in the playoff. Maybe you will lose and you will play against someone that will bring you a bit more luck. I have no idea. We know the story of Juve in Champions League. Sometimes, a lot of times, Ajax, Villarreal, Porto, they are too much. We are eliminated against the small ones. Sometimes, a lot of time, we are able to surpass ourselves, to go over our capacities and winning against the big ones. But it's true that if you are looking at that lineup, if you are comparing with the one of Napoli, 6 different players, Perin, Savona, Douglas Luiz, Conceição, Vlahovic, and Bangula. 6 players are different from the last game, but also the 2 players that played, like Yildiz and McKennie, are playing out of position or in a different position. McKennie from right to the left back, and Kenan Yildiz from right winger to a number 10 position. So we see a total overhaul of the lineup, which is not a bad one. But of course, I'm doubting what is the most important one. This game or the games in Serie A? This is the question I believe that everyone is asking themselves. One thing is sure, Cambiaso will not play the game of today, because yesterday, like Giovanni Albanese anticipated, he was not training with his teammates. Thiago Motta confirmed it in press conference he will not be there, according to him, for that ankle problem that he had in the Bologna game. He came back earlier than expected, suffering and helping the team, supporting the team and giving his hand to the team. Not always it worked very well, because we know it that since Cambiaso came back, he was not the 100% Cambiaso that we saw in the beginning of the season. Of course, the controversial words and touts of the tifosi are ciao ciao Cambiaso, ciao ciao Andrea. It was the last game that we saw you with a black and white shirt against Napoli, and we will never see you again because Mercato will close on the 3rd of February. We know it, huh? The papers are reporting all the same. City is preparing the all-in. Could go now in the winter. If not, they could possibly already agreed now for the sum, for the value, for whatever, to take him in the summer. I don't want to repeat too much the things that we know. We'll speak about it from tomorrow more, but it's true that if you're looking at Cambiaso, hey guys, if really it was only the ankle problem, if really he played like 4 days ago against Napoli, and today he's not there, not even on the bench, of course I have a lot of question marks for that ankle problem. You could have just been there on the bench to support your team. We are not even traveling, we are playing at home. Allow me to have my questions about that. Anyway, another one that could possibly see his last games as a Juventus is Douglas Luiz, because there are voices of Mercato from City. I don't believe that he will leave. Also because we know it, Fagioli is on the exit list. And then, you know it, I believe that after today we will go towards the last really hot days of Mercato for a center-back. Kelly Lloyd is there, or Lloyd Kelly, I don't know. We have Todibo, we have Hansko, a lot of players that are there last minute if something will happen in the center back. But let's focus on the Champions League of today. Marca actually recapped a bit what will happen today. All the games on one page that you understand nothing. You don't know who is playing against who. What is the important game? What is the must-watch game? What is the game that you will probably miss because you can only watch one of the 18 games? And then on that right side you see in Marca the ranking with the goal difference. It's a total mess. After today I will probably make a video where I will give you my first feelings about that new 24-25 Champions League competition, but looks like that's my first initial thought. I didn't really see Champions League this season. I missed Champions League. I didn't have that Champions League vibe. Of course, when Juve is playing, you have a bit that Champions League feeling, but I'm not looking at the ranking. I don't know. It's really, really strange. But anyway, what I want to see, because Marca is telling us a night that you never saw, because all the games will be played simultaneously, what I really want to see is my Juve winning. We have an opportunity, winning today. And then you have an Empoli, then you have a Como, to go for the very first time on a victory of 3 in a row, which we didn't at the moment. Never happened this season in 24-25. I want, again, a win. It would be really important to win, not for the ranking of today, but for ourselves to go out of that negative vibe. Winning today can be the start, and we are always saying it, it's true, but winning today would be so important, not only for ourselves, but also a bit for that history, because we played 8 times official games against Benfica in our history. Coppa dei Campioni, the old format of Champions League, the new format of Champions League. We played Coppa UEFA, Europa League. You know that we won only 1 time against Benfica, officially, in Coppa UEFA years ago. Otherwise, we did 6 times we lost and 1 time we drew. It's a total disaster. The ranking says, or the record says, 8 games played, 1 win, 1 draw, 6 times we lost. Total disaster. And by the way, the last time that we played Juve Benfica in our home, we lost 1-2 with Perin into the goal, with McKennie that was playing and Vlahovic that was playing. 3 of them that will be there again today. What a disaster. What a disaster. Anyway, let's move on. Sotto a chi Coppa. I don't understand the title of Gazzetta dello Sport, but anyway, the message from them and other papers like Corriere, ranking per una notte, Obiettivo 5 Club, they are really clear. The ranking today is extremely important, not only to finish top 8, top 24 or wherever, but for the next season, for 25-26, because more points you're doing, more, of course, you have the possibility to open again, like last season, that top 5 position in Italy for participating to the next Champions League. At the moment, Italy is doing well. We are doing better than Portugal, that was second in the beginning. We are doing better than Spain. We are behind England. So at the moment, England and Italy are both teams qualified for having a 5th spot in Champions League. It's not over yet, but if we continue to put in some results, it will be a good one. We have a lot of teams qualified in Europe, so you know it. You need to take actually the points that you are making divided by 8, because 8 are the participant teams in all the positions. I believe 5 in Champions League, 2 in Europe, and 1 in Conference. Yes, 8. That's how you calculate the points. So let's see how far we'll go, but it's an important one to support the Italian teams today. Super important because we don't know at the moment if Juventus will be able to enter that top four or not. So it's something I don't really like, but it is what it is. What are they saying in Portugal about the game of today? The coach, of course, in press conference said, I didn't come to Italy just for fun or for visiting the country. I came because it's an important one. But on the other side, if you are listening and reading a bit the papers, they are saying picar o ponto. Picar o ponto is like doing the minimal job, you know, because a draw is enough for Porto and for Benfica, or for Sporting and for Benfica to go through to the qualification in the top 24. So a draw would be beautiful they will accept it, let's say, also because Benfica is not in an ideal situation. Can we say that Juventus is in an ideal situation? Also not. It's a short video today, guys, because we will see each other, pre-game, watch along and post game. For the people that made it to the end of this video, you know it. Also tomorrow we go live 9:30 p.m. my time with 3 great guests: Luca GFTV, Marco from IFTV and CBS, and then we have Hashball at the request of a lot of people that said, Beppe, we want to know, because he knows a lot. He studied about why Koopmeiners is not performing in this Juve. So I'm also really curious to ask him a lot of questions tomorrow. Be there, put in your agenda, put the notification ring on. We see each other later today. Grazie, forza, Juve.